Good morning, good morning, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day. Let me say this to all of us in different countries that you are coming from. You are again speaking to Vulazana from the South African Community Health Program. Today we are going to deal with the health program that is going to bring difference into our lives. On Wednesday, internationally, we were celebrating the International Obesity Day. International Obesity Day. I've visited different dietitians. Diet is something that contributes positively or even negatively if we are not aware to the obesity that we are experiencing even in our lives and all that. And I know that dietitians are basing their concept into the BMI. Do we know what BMI means? Body mass index. The body mass index. When I define the body mass index, we can simply say body mass index have been the default measure of healthy weight for decades. For decades, dietitians and even doctors have been using BMI. Today we are moving a little bit away from the Senzo case. We will come back to it later. Don't tell everybody. Tomorrow we will be dissecting the Senzo case. Calculated simply as weight divided by height squared, it provides a single number that categorizes individuals as underweight, normal, overweight, or obese. That's the definition of BMI. But this simply comes at a significant cost. A significant cost. BMI cannot, I want you to underline this, BMI cannot distinguish between muscle and fat. I usually look at people that are taking care of themselves to say they are building up the muscles. But with BMI, when we only look at BMI, we are missing a point of checking on the muscle part, on the other issues. This fundamental limitation means BMI frequently misclassifies individuals, labeling muscular athletics and obese while missing people who look thin but carry dangerous amounts of visceral fat around their organs. We know visceral fat is that fat that you even when you put water in it, it cannot dissolve easily. How BMI is failing. Today you'll think that I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm simply advising you to say BMI, it's not working really for us. Let us look then at an alternative, a process that new dietitians or the dietitians that know their stories are using. They are using body mass composition. When you go to a dietitian, be careful. Let them look at the body mass composition. We have a specific machinery whereby it is like a scale. You get into it. When you are in it, it measures your body fat, it measures your bone marrow, it measures also the water that is in your body, of which with BMI, those things are not taken care of. But let me start by reminding you, we said we are in the South African Community Health Podcast with Mvulazana, as I've said initially. Please, before going, too far, please like, share, and also Subscribe. We are almost there. We are at 460 subscribers. We are there. We are there. We are moving. We are moving. Siyangena, siyabangena. Tina, we in South Africa, we are getting there. In America, we are getting there. Also, Botswana, I'm greeting all of you. In Nigeria, I'm greeting you. Everywhere in the country, I know that we have people watching us, and this is a very important topic that we are dealing with that deals with the health of a person. Consider two individuals, both being 180 centimeter tall and weighing 95 kg. The other one is muscular, and the other one you can see the fat, all over, and their heights being the same. With body mass uh, 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 composition, we are able to can get deeper into them. When a dietitian says he is using a BMI, a body mass composition, you must give thumbs up to that person. That person is not only looking at a certain portion of your body, but looks at the entirety of your body. Let's look at the person A. Person A, we say it's a rugby player with 12% body fat, high muscle mass, low visceral fat, excellent cardiovascular health, low disease risk. And person B, it's sedentary office worker with 32% body fat, low muscle mass, high visceral fat, and pre-diabetic elevated cardiovascular risk. I'm looking at the obesity because obesity, if you are not careful about it, it is something that will cause hypertension, and also you will be diagnosed with sugar diabetes. And we know how diabetes mellitus causes to us. It also takes our people to go to do a lot of surgeries. You'll find that they suffer and they remove their eyes. It depends on the muscles. Remember that our body is mainly composed of the muscles. Even our hearts have got a lot of muscles in it. Today I said, let me just be a medical, and let us look at our own bodies. Moreover, that we were looking at the obesity day. Maybe you will start to take care of yourselves. Basically, we are not saying you need to be too uh, we go to gyms just to build up our bodies. But at some stage, you just need a walk. You just need a walk. Other people will never believe how old am I. I'm 66 years, will be turning 67 this year. I walk at least 5 kilometers a day, just walking, just to build up my muscles. And people never believe my age. They say my parents never told the correct years, but this is who I am. BMI gives identical classification body composition analysis, reveals they could be more different. I've talked about those two people. Their heights are the same. But the other one is a rugby player. You know how rugby players, their bodies have been built. But the other one is that man has got fat, a lot of fat. But when we go to the BMI is the same. So let us not flatter ourselves by looking at BMI. This one, this topic, I like it so much. Even when I debate on the level research, I usually advise people to go for body mass composition. When you get to a dietitian, please, please, please be sure that that person is doing the body mass composition, whereby he will be telling you about different types of the fats that are in your body. And we know that 47% of people classified as overweight. by BMI are metabolically healthy when body composition is measured. Huh? Can I repeat that? 47% of people classified as overweight by BMI are metabolically healthy when body composition is measured. And we are also saying 29% of people with normal BMI, normal, when they say you are normal on BMI, are actually metabolically unhealthy. Huh? Metabolically unhealthy. Athletes are particularly affected. One study found 72% of players classified as obese by BMI had healthy body fat levels. Body fat levels. Basically, your heart disease are contributed by the fat that is seen in your body. The development of your muscles, because the other muscle, as I've indicated before, to say the heart is also built up out of muscles. You know, so many organs in our body have got muscles. You go into your eyes have got a lot of veins that are in there. You know, sometimes when we see our people that are diabetic, they will go and they will tell them that they have something that they need to remove on their eyes, and others become finally blind by this, because every wound, if the muscles are not properly built, then you will be having a problem. And those dietitians, we know that they basically focus on what you eat, because our bodies are what we eat. Have you taken your breakfast this morning? Just a light breakfast. And we are encouraging people to eat 6 times a day. 6 times a day. That is in the morning. Have your normal breakfast. Is it your oats? Is it your one egg, or yes, just one egg, and maybe a glass of milk? That will be enough. And later on, take a fruit. That is the second meal. The third meal during the day, yes, you take your lunch with a measured starch. Your starch should not be overseeded by anything. It must be small starch that come. Your food, the food that you're eating must have carbohydrates, must have a little bit of sugar, must have a little bit of salt, so that you give all the complements in your body. Let us dissect a little bit of the visceral fat, the one that I'm saying it's very dangerous to your body. You know, it's that fat that even when you put hot water, it cannot be dissolved easily. Perhaps BMI greatest failure is its inability to measure visceral fat. You see, BMI has got some defects in it. The fat stored around internal organs. Research published in Nature Reviews Endocrinology of 2019 confirms visceral fat is the primary driver of type 2 diabetes risk, cardiovascular diseases, metabolic syndrome, systematic inflammation, and certain cancers. Basically, even other cancers are coming from the type of food that we are eating. Two people with identical BMI, as I've initially said, uh, even identical total body fat, can have dramatically different visceral fat level, and therefore dramatically different disease risk. Only body composition analysis reveals this. Body mass composition can reveal that. So, as I'm warning you today, go to a dietitian that will utilize a machine or a scale that will give you body mass composition, and it will very much assist you. Low muscle mass is independently associated with increased mortality risks, fall and fractures in older adults, reduce metabolic rates, poor blood sugar control, decrease functional independence. BMI cannot assess muscle mass. It cannot. A normal weight elderly person with severe waste, muscle waste, wasting may actually be at risk that an overweight than an overweight active person with preserved muscle mass. I think we all understand one another. Let us scratch BMI. Let us vote for body mass composition. You will thank me tomorrow. You will thank me tomorrow. Those that know about body mass composition, please drop a 2 in the comments. Just say 2. Just put a number 2 on that so that we can measure how many are very cautious about their weights, body weights. For fitness and weight management, when you only track BMI or weight, you cannot tell if your program is working effectively. Problem: the case shows no change over 12 weeks of training. Even if you can train for how many times, it cannot take. BMI interpretation: no progress, consider changing approach. Body composition reality: lost 5 kg of fat while gaining 5 kg of muscles. We need to move to gaining a lot of muscles rather than gaining fat. And also, it is excellent progress in body recomposition. Body composition analysis provides the data needed to optimize training and nutrition program. Without it, you are guessing. You must have a proper way. Know that how many roughage are you eating? What type of bread? I know that we will go to this expensive breads and all that. No, 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 no. We don't have to go there. I usually hear people say there is oil that is very healthy and whatever. And let me advise you, even Excella, especially that, we are dealing with different types of ordinary. It's how much you are putting in your food that will make your body. A yes. And maybe for a specific population, BMI is particularly unreliable, as I've correctly said. Please, even for athletes and active individuals, muscle mass skews BMI high. Elderly population, muscle loss and height shrinkage distorts BMI. Certain ethnicity, South Asian population, for example, have elevated disease risk at lower BMI threshold. Pregnant and postpartum women, body composition changes confound BMI interpretation. So let us go to our dietitians that are utilizing the body mass composition scales. They are better than BMI. And BMI, even if when you are obese and my muscles are properly built, whilst I am doing my body mass composition, you'll find that when you look at everything, when we look at the BMI, is the same. But when we go to the body mass composition, it shows even the bone marrow. It also checks the bone marrow. It also checks your your age. Even if I'm 65, when I go to that person, he will tell me that my body looks like a 35-year-old girl. That is your body mass composition based on the muscles that have built and the bone marrow and even the water that is there. Fitness program metrics: fat mass changes, muscle mass changes, segmental balance. So please let us be careful. Don't just do body BMI. I know that that is an old way of us doing things, but the new one, it's not a new one. Basically, body mass composition has been there for all the time, but our dietitians, our doctors have not been concentrating on that. Can we concentrate on utilizing our body mass composition? With that, I say thank you very much. This will be, remember that March is our TB month. We will come up also with the different types of TB, what the research is saying around TB. We have ordinary lung TB. We also have different types, of TBs, of which we will discuss them lengthily at that level. Please, please continue to like our videos. And also, as I come also, I will be remixing with health issues, so that even if we talk of other things that are affecting us as communities, we also take care of our bodies. Your body is your bank. It's your bank of life, your life bank. Take care of your life bank. As a member of the community, a South African Community Health podcast, with me, Umvulazana. Take care of yourself. Just this week, go to your doctor or to your dietitian and ask for a body mass composition. It will even tell you about your age, your metabolic. They call it a metabolic age because it look at metabolism, your metabolic age. If the metabolic age is lower, know that you are doing the right thing. You are doing the right thing. And take care. Wait for another video that we will be doing. And thank you, thank you, thank you. Stay blessed.